Hello, and welcome to the Don't You Know I'm Loco podcast. We're three cousins looking to break generational curses by sharing our mental health and healing journeys. Join me, Candy,
Lisa,
and
Renee,
as we talk about
the things we're not supposed to talk about.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode. We were like on a week break.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to be back. But we're back.
Feels good to be back.
It does. I know. It's like threw off the routine. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I'm like, God, something's missing. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
word vomit in a while.
Yep, I know. Today, I don't even know what episode we're on, but
It'd be like 42, I believe.
Dang.
Are you serious?
I think so.
We're gonna hit 50.
Woo.
Ooh, how
That's
exciting!
crazy.
Ooh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Today our topic is different types of therapy. So we'll get into that after our challenges. Who wants to go first? Not it.
I'll go. Well, my challenges this week is I am doing what my therapist told me, which is really hard. Is that just paying attention to my emotions, how I feel, because I tend to put out a smile and like a laugh and stuff, you know, and then inside I'm like dying, you know, like it's like one of those where he's like, you can't do that, you know. So just feel feel whatever you're feeling, and then just like rate it because of the therapy that I'm gonna talk about later. So I've been having to actually pay attention to my feelings, which is really weird. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, like the crazy stuff that you don't even know you do. You're just like, did I just, you know, like, you know, because a lot of times, like, I'm thinking it's just in my head, or a lot of it is in my head. So I don't say it out loud. But to actually stop and think the stuff that I'm saying in my head, I'm like, wait, hold up. You know, it's really hard for me because I don't like to receive accolades. I don't like compliments, like all that, like just, and that's something that, you know, it's on the list to be able to accept it. But I have a really hard time. So with actually feeling my emotions and like thinking about myself, because I have to take care and think about myself, right? So to being, I don't know, just to know when I'm angry or when I'm upset, and then being able to rate it. How before I would have been a 8, 9, and now when I get upset, maybe it's a 4, maybe, you know, because I don't take it in so much. It's just little things like that I'm like, oh, okay.
How exciting.
So we're not supposed to fake it till we make it.
Oh my gosh, that's what I lived for. That's how I got through everything, you know?
I think a lot of us do that.
Fuck.
We don't feel like we're
We don't,
our feelings or emotions.
Yeah,
and
feel
it's
your
just,
feelings. Yeah.
Not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
For your mental health in the
Yeah.
long run.
Uh-huh.
It's a good like coping mechanism for the like like that little present that you're feeling that whatever, but in the long run is just catch up to you.
And I think like after a while, you just don't think about it anymore. And it's just one of those things that like minimizes it, you know? And then all of a sudden you just don't even think about those things anymore. That
Well, I'm excited to hear about your therapy because I can tell that it's affected you, and how long has it been?
I'm going on 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. That's cool. And you already have new tools
Yes.
already. That's cool. I'm excited to hear about that. Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Renee?
So mine, Annex texted me like sometime last week, and I had already told her that I was like, you know, I don't think it's a good idea we talk anymore, even as friends.
Yeah.
I need to move on. Completely move on. And she's still kind of like hit me up.
Ew, how annoying.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm just like, she wants to know why. Like, I don't want to be friends. She doesn't want. I'm like, look, like there was a lot of history between us, and I just think I need to move on. Like, just completely break off because there's too much there. Like, and I told her I was like, you know, I do love her. Like, right? That's like a natural thing,
Right.
and it's like I need for that to be separated. And she's the one that taught me that just because you love somebody doesn't mean you need to be with them.
There you go.
So I don't think she wants to be with me, but I think she just wants to keep me around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna play that game with anybody anymore. I'm too good for that.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
I'm not gonna play that sticking around.
Yeah.
Fucking
Like
maybe,
an option.
Yeah,
You're an
like,
option.
no, I'm
like,
not
no.
an option. I'm a first round pick,
Yeah.
baby.
You're not accepting scraps. I
No.
finally finished the Let Them audiobook because I've been listening to it on my way to work. And I was like, damn, I used to settle for scraps all the time. Like, damn. You know, now I'm on a fucking chef's table full course meal now, okay? In this relationship. Dang. Like, and I was like, I totally like related to what she was saying in the book. She talks about love, like how, you know, how to accept love or how to basically like stand up for yourself. And I was like, yeah, I definitely accepted scraps, and a lot of that had to do with my self-worth and my own self-love. Like, I was trying to find love elsewhere when the place I needed to look at was within, right? And so yeah, nobody's accepting scraps over here anymore, okay?
No.
Full
Only
course
filet
meal.
mignon.
Yeah, we're eating at market price over here.
And I think she's like, I think it's upsetting her that it's not upsetting me.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And I'm like, it's not. Like,
Yeah,
you can say whatever. I told her, you can say whatever you want. It's just
not gonna affect
me
you.
anymore.
Like, it's
not.
That's the old Renee. Old Renee would probably been like, oh yeah, like,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm a different person now.
Yeah, it sounds like you've outgrown that. Like,
Yeah.
you set boundaries, and I know we mention it often when we're like, when we start to set boundaries, the people who benefited from no boundaries are like, what's going on, you know? And it's like, well, what do you mean? Like, you don't want me to be healthier? Like, because it affects you? Like, you need to go work on yourself. Like,
those
you
people
know?
are not the people that love us. They love us for what we can do for them instead of love who we are. And it's just like, I see that now with some people. It's like, no, you just love what I can do for you, or what I bring to you instead of loving me.
Yeah.
But which was actually difficult to like get away from because I didn't love who I was.
Yeah.
Right. And now when you love who you are, like you say,
Yeah.
it's a totally different ball game.
Totally
different ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when I was listening to that chapter, the last chapter, I was like, oh, wow. Like, now that I've grown and I've done work on myself and I do love myself and I'm just like unapologetically myself and happy, I'm like, oh, baby, you are accepting scraps. Like, the bar was low. Oh, my God.
Bar was definitely low.
You guys need to check out that book. Cause
it's a really good book. Yeah, and I listened to the audiobook. Lisa gifted it to me. Thank you, Lisa. And I was listening to it on my way to work because at work I couldn't focus on it, like, because I'm trying to work and stuff like that. So I was intentional about listening to it on my drive home because then I would listen to it. And I was like, oh, this is a really good book. Yeah, there were certain things that I was like, oh, that hits. Like, big time.
Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Let them, let me.
Yeah. Let me.
Little secret.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny because Fernando has been like, you know what? I'm just gonna let them, you know. And I was like, yep, I know. I told you. Yeah.
And it works like in every aspect.
Yeah.
Like,
but I also like how she's like, but don't get it confused and don't be let me to think that you're above somebody because you're just letting them do whatever. Like, you also have to look at your own, how you are contributing to this situation, right? Like, so I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
Candy?
I knew it's coming. My challenge this week was I had therapy on Tuesday, and I know we have been talking about how like in this therapy I've been like trying to unlock memories that my body kind of hid for myself. Well, I had the first one come through, and it was like I let my body just say what it was like, all the things that it was feeling and stuff like that, and it was like I didn't even like, you know when you cry but you acknowledge that you're crying, like you know why you're crying or whatever. In this point it was literally just I was just like crying and crying and crying, and it was so emotionally draining after that. Even I had to tell Fernando like it's really like emotionally draining for me. Like I don't want to do anything. I know, you know, I should probably do the dishes or I should probably do this, but I can't do anything. Like it just like and then I feel better, but also right after it's like, oh, okay, you know,
overwhelming.
Yeah. So I've kind of been with that, like, okay, as we get through this, it's gonna get not worse, but it's gonna get more intense, right? And so my therapist actually told me that there's a workshop this weekend for breath work, and I had been looking into breath work, but I've seen videos of that, and it's like intense because people are like crying and like all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I want to do that, especially because it's a Zoom class. So I was like, okay, so I'm mentally preparing myself for that.
You could sit in your chair.
That's what I was like, oh, cool. I know I had therapy in that chair the other day. And I was like, oh, I need to just do therapy in here because normally I go in the office. But Renee was over editing that day. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to go in my office. And it was so in my room. And it was so much better in my room, in my chair, in my reading chair. But yeah, so I'm just like mentally preparing myself for what that, I'm almost like scared, right, to do this workshop. But I was like, but I already know it's going to make a difference. Like I already know it's going to move something in me.
Oh, you're so brave. Like it's so like, oh.
I know.
Feel you.
I know. It is scary, but I'm excited to do it, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it.
I'm so proud of you. It's so.
Thank you. Yeah, it's scary. Like
it's just the fact that you're like, okay, you know, we're gonna do
like
it.
I had looked at it before, and I was like, oh, I want to do something like this. But then when she brought it up, and I was like, okay, well, I know this is like the company that, you know, that the company that I take therapy at, this certain type of therapy is more of a holistic type.
Okay.
So it's like, it's different. So I'm like, okay. And they have a list of things that, later on in the episode we'll talk about. But I was like, I told her, what comes after this? And then she goes, well, it's basically until you realize that you don't need me to coach you through it. You can do it on your own. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, and then what's next? And then she's like, well, it kind of is up to you. And I was like, because I've seen that there's all these different types of therapy here that you guys offer. Can I take all of these? And she's like, yeah. I was like, cool. Like, next.
That's funny. So I was thinking about like that, like when I was writing this out, I was like, wait, do you like, it feels like you can't start at one, right? And then go to another. It's the other one might like, let's say one's too intense. Like you need to go to the previous, like the, you know what I mean? Like there's levels.
Yeah.
Is there levels to it? Do you think?
I don't know. And that's what I wanted to ask. Like, while I'm doing this, can I do, say, for instance, Reiki, which is something that we'll talk about in here too, right? I was like, can I be doing all these different therapies, or is that gonna fuck me up? Like, I was like, I'm gonna write that down and ask her.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah. I'm like, can I do all the things, or is that like not good? Don't recommend.
You're all just sitting there like. It's all so much going on.
I know. Yeah, but yep, that's my challenge. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see. Like,
excited for you. Yay!
Yeah, very nervous. But yeah, so like we said, we're talking about different types of therapy, and some of these we're doing. So that's why this came up, because we're like, as we're going through these different things, we're sharing them. Like Lisa's been sharing her therapy, and I've been sharing mine, and so I think in hearing your stuff, it makes me feel not better, but it's like, okay,
Like
we're
validating.
yeah, we're
Yes,
experiencing
yes,
the same thing.
yes.
Like, okay, like
Uh-huh.
it's not that scary.
Yeah.
We'll get through it together.
We're gonna get through.
We're having a therapy support group over here.
Join us.
I start in 2 weeks.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see what kind it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what they offer.
Yeah.
Or like
Mhm.
what, fits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excited.
That's good. See, therapy is exciting, guys.
Well,
Healing is exciting.
I do have to say, some people feel like they go to get there. They go to therapy to get fixed, and it's not that. It's you go there and they teach you how to work on yourself and how to
and how to maneuver, how to like
Yes.
kind of how to be a human
Yes.
almost, because there's certain things
Yeah.
that we don't get taught or we don't know, and it's like, well, no, you can't do it that way,
Yeah.
and
Because you do hear people say, "That didn't fix me." It's like, wait,
Yeah.
they're not supposed to fix you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
one, you're dealing with trauma and stuff like that. In not most cases, but in some cases, you're dealing with trauma, and it helps you get through that. But it also, for me, therapy helps me be like, okay, these things that used to trigger me, this is how we're gonna get through it, where it's not debilitating to me anymore, where I like shut down completely, because that's not okay, right? It's not okay for me to shut down, and it's not okay for the people that surround me for me to shut down, right? And so it teaches you how to communicate. It teaches you the tools. Like, we're always talking about the tools, right? Yeah, they're tools for you to help your mental health and your body, because how much of that trauma and how much of that stress and how much of that, whatever stays in your body.
Yes.
So being able to be like, okay, for instance, like sometimes I'll notice my jaw, I'm like, my jaw is like, what they say, unhinge your jaw and stuff like that. Like, I think about it, and before I started to go to therapy, I used to grind my teeth at night a lot, to the point where I like grounded down one of my teeth, right? And they had to fix it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's just in my sleep, like what I do in my sleep, So oftentimes my body like twitches
Oh yeah.
too.
Had
Like
that.
my nervous system is probably fried,
what is it? Circuit, current, or what is it when you get shocked? The
Static? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Toque.
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know the English. I don't know the English version of that.
Toque.
But yeah, therapy is, I mean, for me, for instance, look at talk therapy. I was like, okay, I've outgrown that. It's not doing anything else for me. I'm just, to me, I'm just complaining, or I'm just, venting to this person, but it's not helping me deal with these situations. So that's when I was like, you know what? I need something else.
Yeah.
And for me, I keep telling Fernando, like, that's a big deal for me, because it's like, I saw that within myself and was like, hey, like, you're being stagnant right now. You need something else. It's not, you've got to the point where it's like, okay, this helped me through this, but now what's the next step?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm proud of myself for doing that, because it's like, okay, like, you figured that out on your own. Nobody told you, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. So that's where I'm at now. And I'm like, I want to take all the therapies.
Like a
Next.
course catalog.
Yeah,
Huh?
next. Okay, so let's get into different types of therapy. The first one is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is also referred to as CBT. CBT focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to emotional distress. It helps you to recognize the connection between your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Is it the workbook that we got? Is it CBT or DBT?
It's DBT.
DBT?
I
Okay.
have done CBT.
Uh-huh.
I did it at the VA in 2018,
Uh-huh.
and it was I loved it. Like
Yeah.
it helped a lot.
Can you
And
give an example of like what?
one of the things is they give you worksheets. Like I had like worksheets every
Oh,
week.
how cool.
Yeah, and like one of the ones where it was kind of scary because the doctor made me like relive one of the times I was molested. Like actually walk through it with me.
Yeah,
and
that is scary.
It is. It was scary, but like at the same time, I don't have the feelings I used to have before. Like, I used to be very ashamed about, like, guilty of what happened to me.
You guys.
And I don't feel that anymore at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
My other stuff is from other stuff from the military
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But it helped a lot. Like, I remember a couple times I'd freak out. Like, at basic training, I had to freak out. In Iraq, I had to freak out. Like, over, like, what happened to me. And this was before the therapy, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those freakouts in forever.
Oh, wow.
Ever since then. And at one point, I tried to scratch the skin off my body.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was just like, And
Yeah.
I was disgusted with myself.
Oh.
And I shouldn't have been, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
It happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it taught me, like, just how to deal with it. Like, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
This happened to you, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Mhm.
And ever since I did CBT,
Yeah.
like, for that part,
Mhm.
I've been really good.
Oh. So what kind of, like, what is it? Like, what do? You just, it's just your thoughts and
Yeah.
just switch.
Just
like,
pretty much
shift
like
it?
shift it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was amazing. The doctor was
Wow.
great. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, so
That makes
so
such a huge
empathetic.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
crazy.
man.
Right now that you said that, it made me think about that memory. Like, I have blocked out memories, but this one I can tell you what everything looked like, right? Like that house and everything that looked like, right? Because I don't ever have any good memories of that house. Like, it's like all my good memories are later, earlier, before that house.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I could see everything, right? And then, like, once we got through it, because it was a younger version of me that we were talking to, right? And that's what it always is. It's like talking to a younger version of you, and you're you. And as soon as I let it out and I, like, cried it out and everything, I was like, oh, that doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't bother me to think of it
Yeah.
anymore. Like, it doesn't affect me like it used to before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, freeze, you know? And that doesn't happen I mean, it just, I just went through that this week, but I was like, it doesn't bother me anymore. Like, that's crazy. Like, how the brain, like, how you do that to your brain, you know? And it's not like somebody doing it to
And
you.
it's not like a
you.
drug or it's
No.
like something that's like,
Uh-uh.
no, it's you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's why
But-
we say, like, your mind's gonna be with you regardless.
Yeah.
So either, like, you know, do something to make it better, or just suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Why suffer? It's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mind could be your worst enemy or your best friend. Why let it be your enemy?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So there you go. One person who's done CBT, Renee.
All right.
Okay.
On to the next.
Next on the list. Dang, that's cool. Dialectical behavior therapy, also known as DBT. DBT empowers individuals in their journey toward emotional wellness. DBT offers practical skills and strategies to help you regulate intense emotions, improve interpersonal skill, and cultivate mindfulness in your everyday life. So we had that book, right? We had shared a workbook. It's still in our highlights if you want to go back and look at it on our Instagram. If you're not following our Instagram, you're missing it because that's where all of our clips are at. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. But yeah, the workbook has, like, different things. Like, if you're feeling this, what's something else that you could do to get your mind off of it, or, you know, to, like, divert, basically. And mindfulness is something that I feel like in these different types of therapy is something that's important. Like, they're like, be mindful. Like, for me, being mindful is being intentional or being, you know, like,
in the present.
yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, these past 6 months, I feel like I've been more intentional and more mindful in my life. Like, in my home, in my marriage, in my work. Like, I'm being more like I don't have blinders on anymore. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, why am I feeling this way? Or why am I annoyed? Or why am I angry? You know? And it's like, oh, crap. Like, everybody needs all of this. Everybody needs CBT, all the things.
Our show is like, we're not gatekeeping. Like, we want
No,
to share.
and that's
all
why
this
I'm like,
stuff.
I will sit here and talk, you know, and tell you guys, like, hey, we're all going through it. We're all in different stages of our healing, but I mean, just with us three alone, we support each other in so many things. And I think with through this podcast, we like don't realize how much we've had in common, like in healing and unhealed and trauma and all that, you know?
No idea.
And it's like we lean on each other and we understand each other more than anybody probably ever could. And because we talked about the things we're not supposed to talk about, that's how we're like, shit, we're out here like we're thriving in our healing. And I feel like we got our own little support group here and we'll be your support group out there.
Use us, guys.
Yep. So that's dialectical behavior. There's definitely workbooks out there if, you know, even research it on seeing if it's something that would interest you. I definitely, because I slacked on that book, but it's something that I do want to pick up and get back on because it was like, what is it? What am I thinking? Like firing stuff in my brain. Like, oh, okay. And now I think now that I'm being more intentional, I think maybe now is a good time to go back to it. But I'm telling you, all these therapies is things that are on my list. They're on my list of what's next. Person-centered therapy, PCT. PCT is a compassionate and empathetic approach that places the client at the heart of the therapeutic process. It focuses on creating safe, non-judgmental space where you can explore your thoughts, feelings, and experience fear of criticism or a misunderstanding. PCT encourages self-exploration and self-discovery.
I want to say that's what I had in the like, VA recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was just like very non-judgmental. I just talked and he would send me like in certain ways, but like it was me figuring it out.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, because I walked out of there like that was me that thought of that, right?
Yeah.
And instead of him telling me, hey, this is what you got going on. Well, I thought it was awesome.
I love that. I love that self-discovery.
Cool. He's just like, oh.
Yeah. Like,
Like, you had the answers all this time. You didn't even know. Okay. Next on the list is solution-focused brief therapy. SFBT is a highly effective and efficient form of therapy that emphasizes solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Unlike traditional therapy models that delve into past traumas or root causes, CFBT is future-oriented. It helps you envision the life you want to live while identifying practical steps to get there.
Say that. That's what I
I'm gonna add that to my list.
I graduated to that. Like, all right, let's figure out the shit from the past.
Now let's look at that future. Definitely. Yeah.
I would like to think that, like, something like that. Maybe, like, when I go and they say, what do you want?
Here's my list.
Yeah. This is what I've done.
Yeah. Here's my resume.
Here's my
therapy resume. That's interesting. How it says that it delves into, like, to me, delving into past traumas or root causes is like the basis of therapy, right? But it's interesting that it says it's future orientated and helps you envision the life you want. To me, it's almost like manifestation. Like manifestation therapy. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. I've never heard of that. Solution-focused brief therapy. Emphasis on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Yeah.
I feel like that's where I'm at now. Like, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay. Yeah, because I'm always like, what if this happens? And then Fernando was like, what if it doesn't? I'm like, dang it. Sorry. I'm like Chicken Little. Parts and memory therapy. P&MT is a groundbreaking approach that offers profound healing and transformation by accessing and integrating fragmented aspects of of self. It is based on the understanding that our psyche is comprised of various parts of subpersonalities, each with its own thoughts, feelings, and memories. parts that have been fragmented or disconnected due to past trauma, which led to emotional struggles and inner conflict.
That almost sounds like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly what I thought. Because where it says, like, they have their own thoughts, feelings, and memories. That's where we do, she'll say, like, a body scan. And she's like, where do you see pain in your body? And, like, for instance, this last one, my legs. I was like, I feel like there's waves in my legs. Like, I can feel something in my legs. And she's like, what color is it? And I'm like, it's purple. And she was like, okay. And it's literally like rapid fire, where before I'd be like, no. And I even told her, I was like, at first when we started to do that, I was like, this is dumb. Like, it's not even working. Like, I was like, yeah, I literally told her, like, I thought this was dumb. Like, it's not even, what does it even do? You know? And she laughed and she goes, yeah, some people. And I was like, but now that I'm like not holding myself back, I see, like, once I let go, like how much my body like takes over and it's like release, right? Because all the crying releases that, right? And I was like, oh shit. So yeah, that like subpersonalities should be like, let's talk to that body part. Let's do this, and it's like, at first I was like, literally, I was like, this is dumb. Like, I'm not saying that. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, it's this. Purple. It's purple. It's purple. It's here. It's this. It's that. Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Next is mindful practices. Mindful practices are powerful ways to transform your life from the inside out. It's not just a relaxation technique, it's a way of life that cultivates awareness, presence, and inner peace. You will learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing them to arise and pass without getting caught up in them. This newfound awareness will empower you to respond to life's challenges with clarity and compassion rather than reacting impulsively and out of habit. Me right here.
That would be the morning.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I think that's something that I definitely would benefit from, because impulse is something that I struggle with big time.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Somatic therapy. This is what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Somatic therapy is based on understanding that trauma and emotional distress can be stored in the body, leading to physical tension, discomfort, and even illness. Through gentle and mindful exploration of bodily sensations, movements, and gestures, somatic therapy helps individuals release pent-up emotion, heal past trauma, and restore balance in their overall well-being. You will be taught somatic techniques, including breathwork, mindfulness, and body-centered awareness to help you reconnect your body and access its natural healing intelligence.
Max's Wolverine explanation. Remember?
Wolverine.
You don't remember? He says that like when we have wounds, like it regenerates, like you start healing. But it's just not like the Wolverine where it's just like, wow, it takes time.
Oh.
You remember that?
No, I wasn't there. I don't
Yes,
think.
you were.
Are you sure?
Estabas en las
It was
nubes.
last Friday, yeah. It was when you guys
Are
came.
you sure?
Yes, when you guys came over to hang out.
I wasn't in the bathroom?
No, we were in the backyard.
You were in the nubes.
Oh.
We were in the clouds. Yeah.
You were gardening.
Forget about it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and yeah, like that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, where it's like the breath work and the mindfulness and the like. It's very focused on my body, and it's like, okay, what do you feel? What do we do this? And like, so when we're going through a memory, it's like, okay, how do you want to approach this? Water, fire, or air? And then, so for instance, let's say I say fire, and she's like, fire. Okay. She's like, it's not harmful fire. It's just like almost like a protection of fire, right? Okay. And then we talk about it, and then she's like, okay, oh, what is this? What does the feeling feel like on a scale of 1 to 10? And I'll say like an 8. And then after we go through fire or whatever, what do you feel now? I'm like a 4.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then she's like, ask this feeling if it wants to work on it more or if it wants to leave it at where it's at. I'm telling you, it's like, it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It sounds
It does.
so crazy.
It does.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about,
Yeah.
Candy?
I know. No, literally. I'm telling you. I told her. I literally.
That's dope, though. Yeah.
I'm telling you. I would sit there like this, right, with my eyes closed. And then I'm like,
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. Like, what?
what? Yeah.
It
It's
works,
crazy.
though.
I think it's
Yeah.
the same
shit.
It sounds crazy.
Yes.
It sounds so crazy. Like, I told you. Like, I straight told her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was dumb. I'm like, this is so dumb. But it works. I don't know why, but it works.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I'm like, these are some weird-ass questions. But yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
I get a release. It's doing something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's somatic therapy, guys. That's what it's called. Inner child work and subconscious mind. Inner child work is a power tool for unlocking the potential of the subconscious mind. It is a state of deep relaxation and heightened focus that allows access to the subconscious mind. Through guided relaxation and suggestion, skilled therapists help the client enter a state of deep relaxation.
Thought that was in my head.
Where the conscious mind takes a back seat, allowing the subconscious to come to the forefront. You will become more receptive to positive suggestions and imagery, enabling you to program old patterns, break free from negative habits, and cultivate new behaviors that align with your new goals and values. That's interesting. Inner child work. Huh. Through guided relaxation. Enter the state. I feel like I struggle with that. Where, like, exactly, like, I wouldn't let my brain go, you know? Like, I was like, no. Yeah, we're not letting those come through. No. Yeah. Yeah, because you think about it and, like, when you're, like, play like a kid or you're, like, coloring, it's, like, a different, right? It's a different feeling than when you're adulting.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if we're getting back into the mind of a child, like, how different, you know what I mean? It's like you don't care. I think about, like, my niece and she's just like, meh. You know, like, you go through life like, and then at some point when you adult, it's like everybody, you know, you think about everybody looking or everybody judging. Yeah. And this therapy to me seems like it's like you're going back to your child brain, basically, or your child mind to be like, okay, let's work on it. Like, how do you bring that to this life? Like, that's interesting. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Hypnosis. Ooh. Hypnosis is a powerful therapeutic technique that harnesses the power of focused attention and deep relaxation. By guiding the client into heightened awareness, this will help the client to explore thoughts, feelings, and memories that are typically beyond the conscious. This process can facilitate profound personal insight and promote positive behavior, emotions, and physical well-being changes. Hypnosis. That sounds so interesting.
That reminds me of... Oh, go ahead.
That kind of makes me think like that's incorporate into EMDR.
I was going to say that
because it's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
That reminds me of the movie The Office. Is it The Office? What is it? Not The Office.
Oh, Office Space, no?
Office Space, yeah, where he gets hypnotized. Remember that? And he just stops giving a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen that movie, Candy? Or no? Oh my god, that's a classic.
I know.
It's like 1999 Office Space.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. Let's see. What is this? Hypnosis. I feel like because your conscious mind, like we've been talking about, like it stops you from, and then if you go to hypnosis, then it's like you lose control of the control you try to keep of your own, you know, memories and brain and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
Just like when
scary,
you're
huh?
altered, like when you're high or you're drunk, you're altered.
Mm.
And it's like you do things that when you're sober you wouldn't normally
Yeah.
do, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I came up with the theory that for myself, where I'm like, I think when I drink and I was getting drunk, I was the person that I was supposed to be before everything happened to me. Like it unleashed because when I drink, I'm like I'm happy-go-lucky. I'm like I have more fun, I guess you can say. I feel like the trauma pushed that in, like it.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, and I feel like the drinking takes it out. And I'm like, that's supposed to be my
I think
natural
that's why a lot of
state.
people drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine if you were that person 24/7. Yeah, because you think about it, like there's certain people that like they're very, for instance, my sister, sorry. When most of the time she's like quiet and, you know, like very like mellow, right? And then she has her alter ego.
Donna.
You know, when she is a little bit, she has a little bit of a drink, you know, it's like she like let loose and this and that, you know, like sometimes that's like stuff that with me where it was like when I would drink, it was like, you know, I was fearless almost, where like in my regular life, I'm scared of everything, you know, like for instance, like say like being drunk on the strip, right? You're like walking, you don't care about anything, like you don't care about getting mugged or nothing. You're like whatever. Exactly. But half the time you're like, what kind of sketchy place are we in, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. So I feel like with hypnosis, it's like your brain is altered, like if you were high or something, where it's like you let loose and you lose that control that you keep on a normal basis.
Yeah. No.
Like an office space.
So the next one is Reiki. Reiki is a gentle and powerful healing technique that works with the body's natural energy to promote balance, relaxation, and well-being. Originating from Japan, it is based off the belief that unseen force energy flows through all living beings. When this energy is blocked or depleted, it can manifest as physical or emotional discomfort. Energy flows freely, dissolving blockages and promoting relaxation and stress reduction. Clients often report feelings a sense of warm comfort and profound peace during and after sessions.
I want to try that.
Yeah, that was on my list, and I was like, I want to try Reiki. I believe in energies so much.
Absolutely. It's
so
real.
much. Because it's like, there are certain people where they just like, they deplete your energy, and it's like,
energy vampires is what I like
yes.
to call them.
Yeah. And it's like, I think in life I've been like even for instance in like big family party settings, I'm like, man, this is a lot of energy. I'm gonna go back, you know, because in my normal day-to-day life, I'm home, work, here, and maybe like Goodwill. Those are the only places that I go. So with that many people and that many energies, it's like a lot. Yes, a lot. And I do think because of COVID, a lot of people, you know, were isolated. And so that also is like, you know, getting back into being social and, you know, out there. But yeah, energies is something that I definitely, I believe in that. Like, some people are definitely energy vampires.
And sometimes I feel people, like, do you guys get that feeling when you feel somebody like wanting to? I mentioned the story.
You've told me before that you feel
I can feel like when people want to talk to me, when they do,
Yeah.
but
When
I
they have
also feel when they don't want to talk to me.
Oh, really?
So it's like a double.
Yeah.
And,
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I told you guys the story when my ex had texted me this recent time. I don't know if I told you. I was walking my dogs and a hummingbird almost hit me in the head. Yeah, like it just came. Woo! For those of you that are listening, that put like my hand in front of my face, and I could hear the wings fluttering. It was that close.
Whoa!
Yes, and I was like, "She's gonna text me today,"
Oh, shit.
and she texted me 20 minutes after that. So like I fucking
You
felt
feel
the
it.
energy.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That is
So,
crazy.
sometimes I don't even want the energy, and
Mhm.
it to me. But I definitely believe in energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. Yeah, it's something that like since I've been healing, it's like, oh, okay, no, like you got some funky ass
Yeah.
energy. I'm not.
And I think that's our
Exactly.
intuition. If I remember correctly, I was reading a book recently, and
Mm-hmm.
like if you're something about your intuition will feel like the energy. If you're more in tune with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
feel the
Yeah.
energy, whether it's good or bad,
Uh-huh.
whether you should stay there or get away.
Mm-hmm.
Your intuition will tell you.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's crazy that
Yeah.
your body can do that.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, if I
Yes.
can like take a couple of your
No.
minutes
Yes.
We're
and
waiting for it.
share
There we
this
go.
craziness.
EMDR.
Okay, so it initially starts with EMDR. EMDR. Okay, so going back, I think I already talked to you guys about my therapist, how like he's great, like we match, everything's
Mhm.
great. And he said that there's going to be different types of therapy that, you know, he knows that he wants to try on me, which wasn't on here, but maybe it's like a part of it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because the EMDR first starts with just thinking of like your first traumatic memory
Mm-hmm.
and like really going back into it and just within time, because it's not at
Mhm.
first, because it's really hard to get there, right?
Mhm.
And it's amazing how okay, so at first I don't see shit. I didn't see anything. I was just like, this is dumb, right? That's why it's so funny, because it's like, oh my God, like I thought this stuff too, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like how is this gonna work? This is so dumb. Like really, like come on, it's funny.
Did
yeah,
you go in with the open mind though, or were
I
you
did, but I was still kind of like, you know, like, ooh, is this really gonna work? Like, you know, you still have that little bit of like, you don't know what to expect. Well, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So, he told me to visualize like a happy place, but like really describe it and feel it. And you know, at first, like it was like I described like a beach, and it was like Hawaii, and then it was like my daughter was next to me, and like all this stuff, right? And there's people, and there was just like all this chaos, right? And he's just like, why are they in your happy place?
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, erase them, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. So in my picture, they like disappeared, right? Like it's just crazy stuff
Yeah.
like that. You're just like, okay. But it works because
That's
you go back to that
crazy.
damn picture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anytime like you feel like you need to be centered, or you just need to come back to, you know, like to yourself, you think about that picture. And you feel it, you smell it, you everything, all your senses is within that picture, right? And then and then we pick an ally, and I pick Jesus. And like anytime like I feel anxious, or anytime I feel like an episode or anything's happening, like I feel him in my forearm, because that's what I felt when my eyes were closed and I was talking about my my whatchamacallit, my what did I say he was?
Your ally?
My ally, yeah. So when I was like, with my eyes closed, and I was like, okay, I picture him sitting next to me right here on the left, and like his hand is on my forearm, just holding it like that. And now anytime I feel fear, I feel my forearm, I feel like handprint. It's just, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So the actual therapy is going back into that memory, and then he's using his fingers, his two fingers, and he's just like doing like the hypnotizing kind of thing, right? So he's just doing like this, you're following, right? And you're saying the things. Okay, let me go back. So when you're in that memory of the trauma, and you're picturing it, because you picture it, it's amazing. I never, how from the first visit that I went back to that memory to now, it has increased tremendously. Like I know what room I was in. I know where I was at. Like and while this is going on, like he's telling me, tell yourself what you want to know, you know, because I saw myself at very young age, you know, and I was just like, yell, like, stop, like, somebody help me, like, what the fuck, like, why am I here, like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where you just like, you blurt it out. So he's like, okay, so going back to the hypnotizing thing is like, I don't even know what it's called. I should probably know what it's called, but it's you're going back to there and you're saying like, you're following the fingers and you're saying no, stop, right? But you're in unsubconsciously you're thinking of that memory, so your eyes are moving to the fingers, right? And they're following it, and what is happening is like your nerves and your neurons or whatever, they're like popping, right? They're like popping from the blockage that makes, like, because there's so much moving, right? So it's like everything is like moving and moving and moving, and you feel shift in your head. You feel shifts in your head. It's freaking crazy because he asks you, okay, let's come back between 1 and 10, you know, and that's how you figure things out is by the intensity of things and how it's like all of a sudden, like 5 minutes ago, the shit was like in my brain and now like it's not, you know, or it's I'm able to see it and be like, okay, you know, and move on, right? And it's just by those movements of my eyes and like kind of like doing one of these, like wiping things off, you know, because you don't forget the memory, but that memory, you own that memory now. You make it your memory, and you make it like, hey, you know, like I stood up for myself and I told him to stop, you know, and at the moment I couldn't, you know, and me, what came out of this, like fast forward, is that I have issues with control. Right? I don't want to be controlled. Like I cannot be controlled. And that comes from like everything. My whole life I've been like that. Right? But I have no control of myself. Right? Because I'm just like trying to figure things out and trying to like survive and trying to like, you know, but I've had so much like damage that it's like, I'm like this, right? Like, you're right? So it's insane how after the therapy, your body feels so drained. And on top of that, like you can't make sense of stuff. Like sometimes you're just like, where the fuck? Like you can't even explain it because you're just like, wow, like it's like not, you don't feel like the shift like that, but it's just like you feel like thought. It's weird, guys. It's so weird. But when you are processing everything, like you're able to like the blockage, it unblocks, right? So you're able to like have a full thought and have a full conversation and have a full like you know, like a whole thing, because before sometimes I would stop in my conversations because like I would forget or I would like whatever, right? And those were blocks that were
the traffic jams in there.
Right? And so with this, it's like it's taking it away, you know, or it's like
clearing
it's
space.
like clearing, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it's been great. It's been great, but it is definitely scary because it does bring a lot of other stuff that comes out. And the whole 2 days, like you have to have 2 days of recovery because it's intense. That bad. And this last appointment or this last session we did CPT therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. No, not CPT. It was CPT, which is cognitive processing therapy. So we talk about everything that, because before in the sessions we would just do the exercises and we do everything. He would write it down, everything, and he would just, okay, next one, right? So this actual therapy, he was able to explain how things were working and how I'm able to feel my emotions that I couldn't feel before, because before it was just like in the way, and it was just like I would get annoyed with myself because I'm like, you don't have time to like worry about this. Like, you have this shit going on over here, you know, like little things like that, that it's just like, that's going on in my brain, you know? But now I'm able to be like, hold up.
Yeah.
Let me fix this, and then I'll get to that, you know? And before I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Before it was just like 3 things going on right here, you know? And it's just like, I got to get it done.
Trying to brush your teeth and tie your shoes at the same
That's
time.
exactly. Yeah. But
That's how it feels like those sometimes.
Yeah,
When you're in
yeah.
that state of mind. It's
Yeah.
like,
So, you know, I'm keep going, but it is.
Yeah. It sounds amazing
It
already.
is.
Yeah. I do think there's parallels between what you're doing, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it like as you're saying it, I'm like, it does sound crazy.
Yeah.
But I understand because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, it's like out of body experience, like big time.
And then when they say like, where do you feel it? I feel it all right here in the back of my head, right here, so bad, and it's just like with this therapy, like I feel like it's gotten like loose, which is weird because I never felt
isn't
that.
that where like reactions come from? Like,
what does she call it in the Let Them book? What does she call it?
God.
I can't remember. She called it something, but it's like that's like your reactive something. But yeah, I feel it here. Like it feels like have you ever had something like somebody like graze your arm or something like that, and it feels like a chill?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
That's what my top of my head feels like.
Like inside the brain? Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
That's what it feels like.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so when you were talking about the memories and stuff, I was like, oh, okay. I related so hard to what you were saying. I had a thought. Ya se me fue. Like I lost it. Maybe it'll come back later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely relate to it. Like it's like, oh shit. That's what it was. The ally. So in one of the memories, she was like, do you see anybody? And I was like, I see my grandma. I saw abuelita. Our abuelita.
Ours?
Yes,
Or-
ours.
okay.
And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, what was she feeling? And I was like, she's worried. And she was like, oh. And she's like, okay. And so like we went through it and stuff. And then I was like, okay, my safe space is abuelita and abuelito's house.
Really?
That is my safe space.
That's a good one.
Always. That's always where I end up at, is their house. And I
Where?
was like,
What part of the house?
the living room.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I know, even though we spent most of our time in abuelito's room, but
Or on the porch.
yeah, but that's always my safe space. And I think it's because that's where we lived before we moved, and then all that stuff happened. And then when we would go to their house, I knew I was safe there. So that is literally my safe space. So whenever we're dealing these memories, she's like, go to a safe space. My safe space is the Oaks house. That's my safe space. And because abuelito was always like my safe person. Always my safe person. Like when he would hug me, it would be like, oh, I'm safe, like those tight hugs. And when I met Fernando, it was like this, like his hugs felt like abuelitos.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, oh, I'm safe. Like this is a safe person.
Yeah.
And I never like, right now I'm like, that I remember that I was like, oh, I feel safe here. Like, and I had never felt that before, because when he would hug, those tight hugs that he would do, and then like I could even smell him, like not in a bad smell. He did, and it was like, you know, and I was like, that's crazy. Like that's my safe space, because that's where I felt safe as a kid, you know. And I was like, crazy. Like I remember everything of that house.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I still remember like the air conditioner smell from the back of it, like that.
Oh
outside.
yeah.
We're gonna catch on fire.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were exposed to carbon.
Yeah, move. It's my turn. It's so hot. It's my turn. Yeah. Wow. I know. I'm telling you, we're gonna go through this checklist of all the different things we want.
Yep.
We want to go through.
So the brain is a muscle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're saying you felt depleted and stuff like that, it's almost like the same as working out, right? Like you're,
Yeah.
especially if you have never worked out.
Yeah.
It'll be fucking sore as fuck the next day.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm picturing it, is like, you know,
Big
we've
time.
never done this with our brains.
And
now you're doing it.
That's
That makes
exactly
sense.
how I was feeling. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like my brain is so tired. Like it's been working like nonstop. Like that's how it felt. And I was like, I even told Max, I was like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I just want to stay and just
So you
stay
worked it
in.
out.
Yeah, just stay in. Because
Yeah.
it's just so powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's like everything leaves your body.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, I also feel lighter in a sense. But it's not like right away. It's like the next couple of days.
It eases?
Yeah.
Candy!
I'm telling you.
Like when you work out your body. Then
Yeah.
get sore
Exactly.
for a day, and
Yeah.
then you get to
It's
go.
exactly how you feel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. I'm nervous about this breath work. I wanted to read what somatic breath work is. This is the thing that I'm gonna do this weekend. So I'll report back once I get that.
We're going to the quinceañera this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to get
Otherwise, I think I would want to join her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Friend was like, you should tell them. I was like, I think it's the same weekend as a quinceañera. Sorry. Somatic breath work. Somatic breath work is a body-centered practice that uses intentional breathing techniques to release tension, process emotions, and connect with your body on a deeper level. The practice can foster profound emotional and physical healing. So I had seen videos of a big workshop that somebody did here in Vegas, and it was like everybody comes in like pajamas or like sweats, like comfy clothes, and they bring like a blanket and pillows, and then they're like talking you through it, and then individually everybody's feeling their own feelings. People are crying and people are like their body is like moving and stuff like that. So it kind of scared me because I was like, what? But I was like, no, I need this, and I know that I need it. Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to do that because it is something that I had thought about before too. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, sign me up for all the workshops you guys got. Send me all the flyers. I'm ready to do it all.
Yeah.
For healing and for research purposes.
Yeah.
So we can share the wealth, the emotional wealth.
No gatekeeping here, like I said before.
Yeah, no, we don't gatekeep.
No.
We wouldn't send you down the wrong path.
Yeah,
And we're not doctors. We're just
No.
telling
No
you from
way.
our own
Yeah.
experience.
Like literally our own experience.
Yeah, literally. And look at ours align. Mine and Lisa's therapy, recent therapy has aligned. It's
I
crazy.
feel like we've been through hell and back, and for us to be where we're at and share this, it's like I think it's a miracle in a way.
Yeah,
It really is.
I know you had mentioned somebody had said that we're like helping people.
Yeah,
and it's like it made me think about. Hopefully, we can get her on here. How remember when we went to go watch Prisca?
Oh yes.
Dorca Mojica Rodriguez.
Yes.
She's like, we're storytellers. And I feel like that's what we're doing here is we're being storytellers by telling our story and our healing journey. And, hopefully other people, I don't hope people can relate because I don't.
I hope.
Yeah.
They don't really.
Because I hope that you don't go through the shit that we went through. But just, everybody has been through different things in life. And that, they're here's to looking up, basically, like, shit. It may feel dumb in the beginning, but look at
Stick with it. Stick with it.
What did I say to her when she said, "What are you talking?"
You're like,
what are you talking about?
Oh my God! Like on the episode with Michael, you're like, "What are you even talking about?"
I still don't think he knew what he was talking
about. I know.
He's so fun.
Gosh. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
All right, guys.
Deep?
Yep.
Yeah,
Let's get deep.
Do it.
All right. Here's a deep. What is at the top of your bucket list?
Ooh. The top of my bucket list is to. Where do I want to go?
I don't have a bucket. I need to make
I
a
need a
bucket
bucket
list.
list. Make a bucket list is on
Make
my
a
bucket list.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's funny.
You know what though? I would love to go to Greece or I don't know, like vacation overseas, like vacation, not.
I'll go to Spain.
Yeah.
Just check
Somewhere,
it out.
yeah.
You can go see your ancestors.
Half of them. 45%. 77 over there.
What about you, Kenny?
My bucket list. I think I want to go see more pyramids. Like I want to. I know it's impossible. Not impossible, but like realistically, I can't go see all of them. But like the Mexico pyramids is what I want to go see. Because for a long time, Michoacan, going to Charapan was on my bucket list, and I did that last year.
Yay.
And also, I had always wanted, since I had seen it doing the hot air balloon. I've always wanted to go on a hot air balloon. I did that. And that was super cool because we did that over the pyramids.
Cool.
And yeah, like I've been skydiving. That's cool. We did
I
that
would
for my
never.
30th birthday. That was fucking amazing. I have this bomb ass picture. Put it here, babe. Put it here, Renee. Of me skydiving. And it's cool because you can basically see like the curvature of the earth. Because we were in San Diego. So it was like the ocean. Like it was so cool. I love that picture. It's such a badass picture. Like. And so that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. So that was on my bucket list too. That had always been on my bucket list, skydiving.
I think I'd have a heart attack. Like
Me
I just
too.
feel like my heart would just stop.
I saw a video the other day of this girl skydiving, and her face was just like flapping, and she couldn't breathe.
Yeah, you don't know how to breathe. You
That
don't
would
know
freak
how to
me
breathe.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't know what to do because you're so high up, and like the air is hitting you. And you don't know what to do. So I was literally like smiling. It looks like I'm like cheesing, but I'm like fucking breathing. Like I'm breathing through my teeth. I was like,
Oh shit! See, I would panic.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would be it for me.
Yeah, I know. When we went to, and I think in Fernando's picture you could see it. There were these guys that were like, they were jumping. They were with the company, but they were like practicing. They were jumping, and the guy was like, the plane door is like open, right? And the guy's like just sitting there reading a book, like all chill. And I was like, oh fuck, you're not scared you don't fall out? Like I guess we're all gonna fall out of the plane right now, but still. Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
it's so cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
I definitely.
I
would do it
believe
again.
you.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
Take your word for it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep, that's funny. Do you guys ever have dreams that you guys are flying?
Yes, I had one recently. It was pretty cool.
It's been a long time.
Are you
Really long time.
like are your arms like you're flapping your arms to fly?
I don't remember if I.
Oh,
did.
me, yeah. I'm like
you flap your
like
I
a
think I was
bird.
more like just doing this.
Like a
Like
bird.
this,
I'm like flapping
pushing
to go
down.
higher.
Like I'm Iron Man, I think. Or something
Okay.
like that, like pushing like that.
Like a jetpack. That was random, but I was just wondering.
I know. I'm trying to think now. I don't remember. I think it's like flat, like Superman. Like yeah. Like
Oh my god, you're Iron Man, she's Superman, and I'm a bird over here. I'm Birdman. Oh man.
Cash money.
Ooh, Cash Money Records for the 99.
Dang, that was a fun episode.
That was fun.
Hey guys, where was Usher at 7:00?
He's
He's
cruising
in
the
his
street.
drop top, cruising the streets. Oh yeah.
I said we're gonna start doing that.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh wait,
Wait.
our sweaters.
Oh yeah. Oh here, let me stand it.
We're gonna figure out how to do this.
Yeah, we are
Or-
one step closer to doing merch. We have orientation at our school, Renee and I. Okay, so we can get that merch started. Oh, also shout out to my littlest nephew Isaiah. He got his shirt. Put it right here, babe. Renee. He's the one that won the shirt at the Christmas.
No way!
Elephant. Yeah, the white elephant.
Oh,
But it was an
nice.
adult shirt, so I told them we'll make you a small one. So we made it and we sent it to him. He wore it to school, and then he goes, "Everybody was asking what did it say because they couldn't read it." And
Oh no!
I'm like, "Oh no!" And then because he had said we're famous because we're on YouTube, and then he goes, "So we're famous too?" And I was like, "Yes, you are famous, Isaiah. You're famous too." So yeah, I just wanted to share that because that was so cute. His little shirt he wore to school. I was like, "Oh, I love it." But yeah. All right, guys,
Nice.
for real this time.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for joining us. If you are in need of any medical assistance, please contact your local provider. If you are having thoughts of suicide, please call the National Suicide Hotline at 988. In case of emergency, call 911. See you next week as we talk about
The things we're not supposed to talk about.
Bye.